This is DJ Rubbish
on the ones and twos. And I just come here to let y'all know it's about to get real filthy in this mother.
All right. Well, definitely cutting that out of the beginning. Make sure you're close to the mic.
Yeah.
Because okay, I get nervous with you. I know you like to mumble.
So I'm scared.
All right. Well, thank you, Joel, for coming. Actually, you know what? I won't thank you yet. I'll wait till after the podcast to see how you do to thank you. But we do have Joel up here on the podcast today to discuss Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. He requested, when I first brought the idea up of a podcast, that he has dibs on this one. Believe it or not, it still was a struggle to get him here. So, typical Joel fashion. Joel actually, under heavy influence from my creative direction, created the logo for the podcast. So, appreciate Joel for that.
Yeah.
You look like you had something to say. Thank you. Is that what you're going to say? You never thank me.
Happy to be here, Todd. Happy to be here.
So, Joel, as you can guess, is a graphic designer. Is a graphic designer, and since I've moved to Detroit, kind of taken him under my wing, and he's developed and blossomed into a really talented designer. So really proud of the work that he's done since I've met him. So
your resume must be amazing.
You'd be shocked if you saw some of the things on there. So
I just think your ability to craft the greatness that is. I mean, for sure, there's greatness in Todd, but like your ability to craft it is impressive.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
Also, go sci-fi enthusiast.
Oh, they know me by name. They know me by sight.
Yeah.
They can look at me and say like, "You're going with your third favorite order today."
By the way you walk up to the counter?
Yeah, they can tell it's a good day.
Oh man! All right, so I'll jump right. We have a lot to talk about with this movie. So Spider-Man is my favorite superhero of all time. So I'm excited to talk about this. And like I said, we have a lot to talk about. So I'll try to go quickly so that this isn't a 2.5 hour episode. First things first, I want to apologize to all of the listeners for not bringing up and going over a review of Lindsay Lohan's Beach Club last week. That is my bad. We recorded on a Sunday, so it was before the episode came out, so I just felt weird. So I was like, I'll just wait. So now we have 3 episodes under our belt. I have not, there's no point in me really breaking down each episode. It's your typical, reality TV. Are you into reality TV at all?
No.
I'm not either. But
no.
I'm not.
It's a fixture of your podcast. So.
Well, listen.
Continue.
I'm not either. But I like Lindsay Lohan, so I was like, I'm gonna support. So then I'm like, all right, now I'm invested. I have to keep watching. Starting to get invested into the characters. Something funny that I was talking to my aunt about like last week. Where did she get the bread for this beach club? Because Lindsay Lohan has been pretty low for a minute, right? And I'm like, I know that she still doesn't have like money coming in from Parent Trap, right? Or like Mean Girls, Freaky Friday, Herbie Fully Reloaded. They still come on, and every movie I just named, I enjoy those movies big time. But it just is like, do you have enough to like still like you've been in and out of rehab, some legal trouble, like?
The people in Jersey Shore don't have money to front all those shenanigans. So like, I think that somebody was like, Lindsay Lohan, she's got some clout still. She could go crazy. Let's put her on TV and see what happens. We'll foot the bill.
Well, the way I took it was that she had the club established, and then the TV show came. Not that they were in tandem together, but I could be wrong. Though. There might be some stuff behind the table, or under the table, behind the doors. Oh man, you're missing out. Also, did you know that Lindsay Lohan, fun fact, had a platinum album in 2004?
2004 was such a simpler time. I can't even.
I mean, the answer is no. Obviously,
no. I do recall that she has a single that was out.
I did not know she had music out, and then I go on and find out that she had a platinum album.
Did it make Todd's top Is it in the running for Todd's 2019 playlist?
I haven't listened to it yet. It's called Speak. I haven't. It might. Like I'm gonna check it out.
You gotta
It could.
sneak one track as just like a deep cut.
Yeah, right. I do. I'm gonna purposefully just find
It's
something
like an
just to
Easter
like,
egg.
oh, y'all don't know about this? Like,
Yeah.
even though
If
obviously
you
I just
listen
found
to In Todd We Trust, episode 10, you know.
that I just found out. Second album, 2005, went gold. That album went gold.
So not
Isn't
only
that
did
crazy?
she have a album, she had two
Two
albums.
that did great. A million on the first one, 1 million copies. Like artists don't sell 1 million copies nowadays. Like I mean, now that they'll get 1 million
Plays.
streams. That you know what I mean. Like they'll get streams that'll count towards an album sell. But like a hard copy, 1 million copies, that's crazy.
How many are in boxes somewhere?
That doesn't matter.
This is the
Doesn't
hard
matter,
question,
man.
Todd.
Well, probably a lot because the
Yeah.
music's been burned and now we can stream it. People are probably still listening to it.
Maybe. Coasters.
So anyway, to the episodes, like I said, we got 3 in. So I'm starting to establish favorites, right? So I rock with Billy, not just because he's the only brother on the show, but he's the realest. You know, he keeps it real. Again, I know you haven't watched, but if you do, just keep some of this stuff in mind.
Okay.
I'm Team Billy. Team Billy right now. Kind of upset his name's Billy. He's the only brother on there. Like, I mean, I don't know what I wanted his name to be, but maybe not Billy. Funny story.
You know what Billiam?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay.
I wasn't allowed to have...
I thought you knew a Billiam, and I was like, word, man,
No.
shot the dark.
So, I was, what was it, like 7th grade? I wasn't allowed to have a MySpace. So I created one under a fake name. You know what that fake name was?
Billy.
Billiam.
It was Billiam.
Full Billiam.
Yo, sometimes energy just sinks, Todd. You know, like I just felt that,
So-
and then I picked it up.
So, Mom, if you're out there, I got one over on you because Billiam was online.
And she's gonna be like, "I got you. I was in your top 8, and you didn't know."
Right,
it."
right. Oh man, so like Billy, Sarah's fine, but like she's annoying. Like she kind of has that like pretty girl swag where she feels like she can kind of do whatever because she's pretty, and I'm like,
I know a few of those.
yep, exactly. Yeah, you already know what I mean. So Sarah is kind of on the outs for me right now. They have this guy Brent who's like mad annoying, but he's clearly been picked as the villain. Like, you know, they handpicked these guys that were like, this, we're gonna make this guy a villain. So exactly. So they have him and he plays the role well. He's super annoying. And you know, they do a good job picking different personalities for this reality show. So obviously you want to get personalities that clash, but they just do a good job of just getting people from different like areas and backgrounds. So I do like that. These shows always try to manufacture beef. You know what I mean? Like beef that's not there. That's the entire premise, is that they just like manufacture issues, right? And they find these storylines that have issues. I'm here to say that I will 100% be the beef guy on a reality show if you need me to be, because I can stir the pot, right? But also be cool with everyone. Like, I know how to play. I know how to do that. I can
see you in the middle of an argument, just like,
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
Yeah, right.
She was looking at your food yesterday. She could have grabbed it. I don't know.
You know what I mean? I can be that guy for them. So you know, if MTV, VH1, Bravo, all those networks, if you guys need one of those type of guys in there just to stir it up and still be in good graces with everyone, I could definitely do that and like plant these ideas in people's heads. Would love to do that. Another thing with these things, you know, it's either fight or shut up. Like, I don't want to hear the going back and forth and you'll see me outside and then you wait till someone comes and breaks it up and then you try to go wild and then it like dissipates. Like, no, like I want to like either you're throwing hands or you're not throwing hands. Like otherwise it's like go back and be quiet, right?
So maybe you should be like a token guy that's on the show and carries around like a ring bell.
Right.
And when stuff's about to pop off, you just like hit the bell and people just like start going to blows.
Right, yeah, like you have to fight. Like
Yeah.
that should be the rule. Like you have to fight if I ring the bell. So, more to come on Lindsay Lohan. Right now, those are the people that I like. Who I don't like.
Can I call back to a previous episode of this?
Oh, sure.
You mentioned on the Aquaman episode that there was a girl from Grosse Pointe.
Yeah,
and you were potentially going to shoot a shot.
No. I'm not shooting a shot for her. No, with
Oh.
her. Yeah. She's on there, but she's she's whatever.
Okay, I digress.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I said that, and I think it was talking about Sarah.
You were talking about a girl.
No, I was talking about the Grosse Pointe girl, but I wasn't saying that's the one I wanted to shoot my shot with.
Oh.
It was the Sarah girl who I wanted to shoot my shot with.
And then you transitioned to the Grosse
Exactly.
I got you.
Yep. Appreciate you listening.
I mean, I listened though. Like
Yeah.
that was for points for
That's
sure.
the main. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah.
I appreciate that. So went back to MJR $5 Tuesday. for the first time in a minute.
The clap, man.
When you can't just say the
I'm
clap.
sorry. It's MJR, right?
Yeah, it's MJR.
Okay, if you go to MJR theaters, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And my first time in MJR theater, I didn't know about this, and then people started clapping, and I was like, I felt like I was in a cult or something.
Right.
It threw me off so bad.
They have a theme song where in parts in the theme song you clap like 1, 2, 3. So funny thing, when I went last night, I was gonna take a Snapchat and say it's more than just a movie, it's a big night out, and just like put ... I'm mad that I know the words too now.
Yeah, I didn't know all that, so
I would have felt so stupid if I would have you like, what are you talking about?
I'm thinking of what gifts I would have sent back.
Right.
Just blank stares.
So I went back, right? This is my first time probably in like 2 months going to $5 Tuesday. You can fact check me on that by listening to the past episodes, but it's still as ghetto as I remember. There were 4 junior high girls that come in the theater. They run in the theater while playing music on their phone still, right? I'm like, all right, so it's gonna be that exactly.
Yeah.
What sense does that make, right?
I don't understand.
Who are you with? Like,
Just
who are your
anyone
parents?
who walks around just playing music out loud on the speaker on their phone.
Why headphones? I mean, there's no reason. You're at a theater. Why'd you come to the theater? Anyway, they run in. Why are you running in the theater? Playing the music. Turn the music off. Sit down. Watching the trailers. And then one of them yells, like, after it says like the release date, they're like, "And that's on my cousin's birthday." I'm like, no one cares.
No one signed up for that.
And like, what was the first part of the and?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? Shut up. So, and then someone brought a baby in the theater.
Yeah.
So there's a baby and the baby was pretty well behaved, but again, it's a baby and it's a 2-hour film, so obviously it made noise. Anyway, just had to share that. Warning as always, if you go to $5 Tuesday, that you might run into these issues. However, it is $5, and if you join the MJR Rewards program, which is completely free, you get a free small or medium popcorn. Again, that's very stupid because obviously I'm going to pick the medium, or a large for $1. So I would do that if I felt like splurging.
Yeah.
So
you did win.
so before you came on here, I gave you a heads up about creating a list of your top 10. Nope. Before you say anything. Your top 10 superhero movies, Mount Rushmore of heroes and Mount Rushmore of villains. Because that's what we did for Aquaman. I felt like it would probably be, fun to do it again. You being a big superhero guy, this being Spider-Man, sticking to the trend. Before this, Joel told me that he had a different idea. So he's that guy. So introduce your idea.
I mean, you already shot it down off camera, and now you're just gonna like
crucify you on camera, yeah.
I was just suggesting like it would be interesting since like my list was almost verbatim for your previous guest, that maybe we switch it up and do kind of like off the cuff superheroes from like nostalgic TV shows or just like guilty pleasure superheroes kind of. Like they're so bad that it's like amusing, but it was like cool when you were a kid.
So so I'll be on the spot for this. Obviously, Joel has put some time into the question that I didn't give him. So
Okay.
give me your Mount Rushmore off the cuff
Superheroes? General. Okay, Iron Man for sure is up there. I appreciate.
Wait, what?
Oh wait.
Iron Man.
Are we jumping back to what I'm saying? To my.
We're doing your thing. We're
Oh,
doing
see,
your thing.
there's not a Rushmore of that. I was just trying to say like random like.
What? Okay, no. Okay, so then we're gonna go back to
Yeah.
mine. So we're gonna assume your movies are the same.
Yeah.
My movies, I just gave them out last time, like in no specific order. I ordered them.
Okay.
So I'll give those out. Right now. So I have X-Men United as number 1. Like I said, part of that is nostalgia. Me being a kid, remember going to see it, getting that as a Christmas gift. So that got Spider-Man 2, Doc Ock, number 2. Deadpool, number 3. Dark Knight, number 4. Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse, number 5. It jumped up there. I love this movie. So I'll go into that. Number 6, Dark Knight Rises. Love Bane and his dialogue throughout the movie. Number 7, First Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. 8, X-Men Origins Wolverine. Love Wolverine. 9, Captain America Winter Soldier or Civil War. To me, both are great. You can go either one. That's kind of cheating, but whatever. Number 10, Superman 2 with Christopher Reeves.
Okay.
So that's my top 10. Mount Rushmore of heroes I gave last time, but and I think I had the order, but Spider-Man, Wolverine, Batman, Gambit, and then for villains, I did not have this. This is something that Darian introduced the other podcast. Magneto 1, Carnage 2, Bane 3, and Sabretooth 4. So,
Okay.
yeah. So if you want to give since your movies are so similar to his, do you have a Mount Rushmore heroes and villains?
Yeah. Gambit actually is one of mine too.
Oh,
I feel
dope,
like
okay.
I loved him on the. I remember watching the cartoon all the time.
Yeah, he was
and
dope
I
on the
just
cartoon.
and I was stoked that they were gonna make a movie, and they were gonna have
Where's it at? Where's it at, Sony?
what's my man's name?
Yeah, Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum was gonna be on. I was like,
Yeah.
well, all right.
Yeah, I don't know if he's
trying to imagine his
Gambit.
Creole accent, but
Yeah.
we'll see. And it just never happened.
Yeah. Still waiting, Sony.
Yeah. Okay, so Iron Man is up there for sure too.
Okay.
I love the wit, and there's literally the line in Iron Man 2 when he's on trial where they're like, "What would you be without your suit?" And he was like, "Billionaire, philanthropist, playboy."
Yeah, right.
Like, I mean, like, what do you want? You know what I mean? Spider-Man is for sure up in the top group. Was it 5?
I see that little thought was supposed to inspire to.
Yeah, I like to go off the cuff. It's honest.
4.
That was 3.
Who did you just say? You said Iron Man, Spider-Man,
And Gambit.
Gambit. Okay, yeah, you did say Gambit.
Spent the most time on Gambit. That's fine. And you know what? New school. Like I really like Black Panther.
Okay.
I was all about it.
Okay. Cool. All right.
Villains.
Villains, yeah.
You know who I feel like people don't talk about enough, and maybe it's because the way he was portrayed in The Dark Knight. Ra's al Ghul. Going back to the cartoons and stuff.
Yeah, he was ill. Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't to be messed with.
Also, I loved Lady Deathstrike, who was also like Logan's like
Yes.
former lover.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
she was like a
Yeah.
dope backstory.
That is,
She was
yeah.
great as an adversary.
She is dope.
Okay, so we're gonna put
That's
her
fair.
up in there. Venom has to be.
That's
me.
fair.
He was
I mean,
like an
that's why I put
anti-hero.
Carnage because I always
Yeah.
I felt Carnage was like
He's more
Venom but
evil.
crazier. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was more evil. So it's like I had to give him an edge.
Yeah, and I feel like Joker just because it's hard to like think of anything other than Heath Ledger, but
Right.
I don't know if there's really a better just agent of chaos represented than Joker was generally.
Yeah.
And like the Michael Caine line, like some men just want to see the world burn. Like,
Right.
that is the perfect villain, and it was portrayed perfectly for that. So like he's definitely
Right.
up in there.
Yep. No, that's fair. Yeah, Joker. I had a hard time putting a guy who was a normal dude in there. Bane technically is a normal dude, but in the cartoons he just had like he was juiced up.
Yeah.
In this one he literally was just a normal dude. He was just buff, and obviously had like the back training.
But I love this. I love the representation of him in The Dark Knight Rises. Yeah. I feel like people would just kind of like skip over him because it was hard to
He's dope.
understand him. But like
That's why I
backstory.
That's why Dark Knight Rises literally in my tops because of him. I think, for me, he did to that what Joker did, what Heath Ledger did with the Joker. Like to me,
But it was right after Heath Ledger did that.
Right. So
the bar was so high.
Exactly, and he passed away. Which I mean, not to say that
everyone attributed to the insanity of playing Joker and getting in that mindset.
Yeah, a lot of it went to that too. But again, amazing film. Again, that one's even higher on the list. So
I was surprised that you said X-Men Origins Wolverine and not Logan.
So I said this. So in that other podcast, the reason that I had an issue with Logan was that not an issue. It was just so hard. Like, I watched it one time. Like it just was like, dang, like that's like my childhood. A piece of my childhood like left that day. Like when I got out of that theater, and it was like, dang, like
so
it's done.
Did that hurt? Oh, you're saying because like there will not be another of him playing.
Right, exactly, and because that's one of those examples similar to Iron Man 3 where I felt like it was a good movie, but it wasn't I didn't feel like a superhero movie. It felt like just like a good like drama movie. Like obviously it felt like a good movie with superheroes in it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's a great movie. It's a better movie than X-Men Origins Wolverine. But X-Men Origins Wolverine, it just was so like them growing up and seeing him. You never see Wolverine as a kid.
Yeah.
So that was just so dope. And him and Sabretooth, like, their backstory together, like how he met like Stryker, like all of that. Like I just love his backstory is my favorite backstory of any superhero. So that is.
I really wanted Lady Deathstrike to be in that.
That would have been. I mean, it would have
Like,
been ill. Yeah.
I wanted it so bad.
Yeah. No, it'd have been super dope. All right. So not to stay on that super long. Going to this movie. So it's based on the 2014 comic series Spider-Verse event. The description for this movie, as told by IMDb, is teen Miles Morales becomes Spider-Man of his reality, crossing his path with 5 counterparts from other dimensions to stop a threat for all realities. Came out December 14th, starring Shameik Moore as Miles, Jake Johnson, aka Nick from New Girl, as Peter B. Parker from the Spider-Man.
Yeah,
For if you don't, well, obviously you know what I'm saying. It's like if you're listening and don't know, Spider-Man from the other dimension. Mahershala Ali as Uncle Aaron, Miles' uncle. Zoe Kravitz as Mary Jane. Zoe Kravitz.
Okay. I completely thought that Kirsten Dunst came in as a cameo to play Mary Jane in the universe with Peter A. Parker.
Why did you think that?
I don't know. I was listening to all the voices and like pinpointing. Did she drop a tiger? Like says the word like tiger.
Like from the movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I feel like she said it, and it was just like, oh, they got her, kind of thing. Because like I was listening, I that's a thing that I do that's dumb, but like I'll hear voices and be like, oh, I know who that is, and I was able to do it with like most of the people in it, and that was what I did. So when I read that it was Zoe Kravitz, I was like,
her voice is hard to pinpoint.
Yeah.
I've heard her on like music on like tracks before, and it didn't sound like her. And I know it, and I keep hearing it. I'm like, I don't hear her on this, and I know it's her voice. So yeah, her voice is hard to pinpoint. John Mulaney as Spider Ham. And then Natalie Morales as Miss Caleros. I don't know who that is.
No.
But I put that down, Natalie Morales, because I had a funny story about it. So several months ago, I slid into her DMs on Instagram. Yep. It went nowhere. She didn't even.
I was like, for research on this? Or
No.
You just randomly.
Just randomly slid into her DMs. Like It was like she's like one of those celebrities that's like not big enough to where you can't slide into their DMs.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, like
this is different worlds we live in.
yeah.
I just don't slide into DMs like of normal people.
No, I have never slid into a DM of a normal person. However,
There's more confidence with a celebrity?
No, not more confidence. Not more confidence. Just like it's worth me putting myself out there.
Okay.
Yeah, like my dignity and integrity like doesn't like go out the window. Like if it's a beyond half court game winner. Like no one expects you to make it, but if you make it, like there you go.
Amazing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So which leads me to an important question. What's more important with DM slides, shooting percentage or total shots made?
No, I don't think that's even the right question. I think it's like okay, say you've got 7 DM slides that are like exhibition level versus like game 7 of the championship, and you got one of them. You're going to infamy if you get that game 7 game winner.
Very true. So it's more about
it's quality of the slide.
Got it.
Quality of the destination.
Got it. Okay. Which is why I go for the game 7s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well,
See?
You already said that she's not that high up a level of celebrity. She's like a game 3, but like.
No.
It's the playoffs. It's fine.
It's the finals though. It's game 3 of the finals.
Playoffs.
Yeah. Golden State.
Okay.
Anyway, had to ask that. The runtime for the movie 2 hours.
We're just getting
jumping
there.
right back.
Okay.
Yeah, jumping right back. Sorry, we're just getting
Hot
there.
potato.
All right, so to the movie review. So generally, the story is about a teen that's going through normal challenges of adolescence, Miles Morales, and then on top of that, then becomes Spider-Man, similar to the actual Peter Parker Spider-Man, nerdy, going through a little bit of a different situation, the challenges at school, and then on the flip side, you have the Spider-Man from the other Spider-Verse. Coming in, and this is kind of a redemption tale for him. In his universe, he kind of messed up being Spider-Man, made some bad choices, kind of failed, ready to give it up, and then comes to this reality to mentor Miles and help him get things back on track in that universe, to ultimately help all of the Spider-Men people get back to their respective to get back to their respective dimensions. So a lot of humor in this, which I liked. I thought it was really funny. It had a lot of really funny parts. The line, "It's a puberty thing," when he kept saying that. So when he was going through his changes with becoming Spider-Man, that was cracking me up. when he was talking with his uncle and he's telling him like, hey, like what girls are at school, and he new girls are talking to. He's like, yeah, there's this one. He's like, what's her name? And he's like, I'm still laying down the groundwork. That was so funny because like I feel like I've had that exact conversation with my uncle before, like being in junior high. He's like, huh?
I can see you have that.
Yeah. I use the term laying down groundwork.
Yeah, that's
still.
why.
That's a term I still use. So I can remember like my uncle being like asking me like when he came in town, like seeing me. I think it was like a church function. There was like a girl I was talking to for like a long time. He's like, oh, what's going on with that? I was like, oh, I'm still laying down the groundwork. No groundwork was being laid. It went nowhere. But I just remember.
First step,
yeah, it's just funny like that. So it just reminded me of that. And then the slow shoulder touch when he was trying to give him pointers on how to approach. That was, it's just funny. They did a couple funny things in the movie that actually like made me laugh. What stood out most about the movie was the animation. So the animation, which has been nominated now for in the Grammys. I'm gonna actually have a Grammy episode, or not Grammy. I'm sorry, Oscars. Wow, Oscar episode. You're just gonna let me mess that up.
It was that good.
Yeah, it was that good.
You can hear it.
You can hear the colors.
Yeah.
The animation was amazing. That was the first thing that jumped out to me. It had me glued the entire time. So it was like. And the movie was never slow. Like it was good from start to finish. But even if you were someone who weren't necessarily drawn to the like story, you would be like, I was analyzing. There were times where I was analyzing the animation, like, whoa, that's kind of dope. Like how they made it really look like a comic book, and then they mixed that in with they had like the different spider people things from their Spider-Man from other Spider-Verses, and you had like the main backdrop was the comic. Feel for the movie, and then you had like the anime one. You had a girl that was like a Japanese Spider-Man, and she kind of had like animation. Then you had the Spider Ham, that was like Looney Tune looking. Then you had
his mallet.
Yeah, the mallet that he pulls out of his pocket. It literally looks just like Looney Tune. So that was cool how they mixed that in the classic black and white one, the New York Spider-Man. That was dope. So they did a really good job with it. It was making me laugh, the Kingpin, how big they made him.
See, but I love that.
I did too, but
because like he's supposed to be.
He's supposed to just be massive. Yeah, he was massive like in the cartoons. He was always just like massive. So I like how they did that. Again, you can do. Did you watch Daredevil on Netflix?
Yeah, you can only do so much. And like Peter D'Onofrio from SVU, Criminal Intent, like he's a big dude. He's probably like 6'5", but like he's not like.
No one's
Michael
as
Clark
big.
Duncan made him look big, but like,
right.
Yeah, what are you gonna do with a real person here? Unless you had Shaq out there, like,
right.
Can you imagine Shaq as Kingpin? I'm stuck on that now.
I hate it. I do hate how powerful they made him though. Like, I don't remember him ever being like. I remember him having like more strength than the average dude, but not having like Mr. Incredible strength. Like he was just like. Massively strong, and he was kind of quick. I'm like, hold on, wait a second. Like
he was definitely too quick. But I remember him strong, and I like that. Even tying back to the Daredevil, like it made me think of how much Daredevil like had his story the same as this did, with Vanessa and trying to get her back and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah. So I like how they did it. It comes back again. Speaking of his size and stuff like that, and even just the way they weaved in the other Spider-Man and the animation like that. It goes back to a point I've made on this podcast before about animation movies being better because of the possibilities. Like the possibilities are endless. So imagine how dumb Kingpin if they would have like used CGI to make him look that big and like Daredevil. Yeah. It'd look stupid. Or if you try to weave in like these other Spider-Men from other Spider-Verses, or like even the fight scene at the end with whatever that machine was that broke the the quantum whatever that was the gateway between all these dimensions. Like how silly that would have looked if they would have tried to use like CGI to recreate that. Like there obviously there's like ways like when you see like the dimensions in like Ant-Man and they make it look realistic, but again there's just it's limitless with animation. So I thought they did a great job there. Miles, what were you about to say?
Also, I feel like it was the most immersive and well pulled off comic book experience for someone who doesn't read comic books. Yes. Like Marvel, the whole like all the movies that have been since Iron Man 1 made people love superheroes again.
Yeah.
But like this movie, I think does something like the next step that like you really felt like you were in a comic book without being like it's gimmicky or I'm getting a headache or like it felt like it was 3D without being 3D, and like I
Right,
know that they're like trying to copyright that technology that they're doing for that, and like they've already hinted at like making another one of these, and it's kind of like Sony's new, their opportunity to get back in the superhero game, really. But yeah, it was. I've been waiting to hear your thoughts on this movie because like as soon as I saw it, I was like, this is the perfect Spider-Man film.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, and then I'll give my like final takeaways at the end, but yeah, I mean, just the animation was amazing, and like you said, without it looking gimmicky and cheesy, is what my worry was when I saw it. So when I'm seeing trailers and stuff, I'm like, okay, they're giving me multiple Spider-Man. They have a pig that's a Spider-Man. They have it's like 3D, not 3D, comic book. It was a bunch of things. They have Spider-Man wearing Jordans. I'm like, okay, what did they have to do with that? And I think they did everything the right way with it, how they weaved it in. So I like how they made Miles, going on to his character specifically. I like how they made him really smart. And now I thought, so when they started it, Miles is going to a school for background. Miles is going to like a new like
a charter, not charter, but like a
basically like a private school. Yeah, really nice private school, really hard to get in, obviously really expensive. So I guess he wins some type of lottery or some type of contest to get into the school. So they allude to it being a contest, and he feels like he doesn't belong there. And what you come to find out is literally just him going through growing pains, not wanting to be in a new school where he's unfamiliar, and not that he's dumb. So I thought at first he was going to be like, they show him like failing a test, and he failed the test. He got a 0 out of 100, which obviously the teacher then points out, in order for you to get a 0 out of 100, you had to know all the right. And it was a true or false, exam. So obviously even the dumbest person in the world can guess and get at least a couple of them. So he got 0. So then proving just how high his intellect actually was. So I liked how they did that. They kept it on par with the original Peter Parker, where he's a genius, and didn't make. If they would have made him dumb, I would have been mad. So I like that. I didn't mind the additional powers. Usually I get mad when movies like just give guys power, like what I mean, like if he just had some stupid powers. So the 2 powers he had that were different from the original Spider-Man is one, he could shock you with his touch if he so choose to, or at first it was involuntary, and then obviously just like any superhero movie, he learns how to control it by the end. Also could make himself invisible. So I thought those were 2 where it didn't take it like too far. What I mean, with sometimes with these superhero movies, I feel like you start, you might give him maybe 1 or 2 additional powers, and you're like, wait a second, he didn't do that. What I mean? Like Captain Marvel didn't have super speed. That's not something they did. But like sometimes they'll try to slip in stuff like that for the sake of the movie. So they didn't do that here, and I did like how they added that. The Jays were crucial. So the Jays, I thought that was dope. That, like I said, that was something that when I first saw this trailer when I went and saw Black Panther in theaters. And I saw the Jays, and I was like, okay, that's dope, but are they going to make it, again, is it going to be, like, campy? Yeah. But I thought it was dope. It, like, spoke to his, like, swag, and, it all was woven nicely. It wasn't done corny. When the girl I think it was Gwen that made the remark, like, oh, maybe it was just a girl passing the hallway. It's like, oh, your shoes are untied. And he's like, yeah, I know that's on purpose. Like, funny, again, showing, like, how he's at this school where, like, they probably don't understand him as well. Like, he's probably not as diverse. And, I've been through that, too, where someone will say, like, oh, your shoes are untied, or, like, I don't know, whatever, something that's like a cultural, or this is when I remember hearing like, oh, the sticker's like still on your like flat room, you keep the sticker on your hat, like, you have a sticker on your hat, and it's like, like that's kind of like that was like the wave. Obviously it was stupid, like looking back at it now, but like
still have hats with stickers on them.
Yeah, exactly. No, all my hats still that from like high school, junior high still have stickers on them. Like, I'd be mad if someone were to try to take the sticker off. So I have no explanation for why that is, by the way, so don't ask me, but that's just the thing. I know you probably enjoyed seeing the Chance poster with the 4 on the hat.
I literally was like, Todd's upset right now. Yeah. There was a Chance cameo.
Yeah, Chance. Yeah, they kept showing it too. And I was like, oh.
With the 4 instead of 3.
If you can't tell, I'm not a huge Chance fan, but that's a conversation for another day. The music was hard throughout, and as we were driving over here, you were playing the soundtrack, but the music was good throughout. They did a good job with the soundtrack. It had to be swaggy though. So
yeah, they like made it like an extra character kind of.
Yeah.
And like made it really like the whole like Sunflower section where he's like singing it and stuff.
Yeah.
That was just like dope, and I wanted to be annoyed by it. I was like, nah, this is actually, I like this vibe.
They did it well, and the fact that I think it's important that it was original music, and it was songs that were made, curated just for this movie. So I thought that played to it too. You know, if that was a song that we had been hearing for like 2-3 years, then it would have taken away from it a bit. So you know, a couple things that were a little bit like dark that I didn't really like. One, in the other Spider-Verse where this guy comes in, where
Peter B. Parker.
Peter B. Parker. That's funny. I just think of like Michael B. Jordan, obviously, like differentiating from Michael Jordan. Aunt May dying, and then him also getting a divorce from Mary Jane in the other universe. Like I was like, dang, it's a little like deep and dark for like a kid movie. So that was a little like, whoa, they got kind of dark there, and then, you know what, I'm tired of. I don't understand how heroes sometimes in these movies, or supervillains for that matter, die by bullets. What, like, word? Like you've dodged all this stuff. Like when Uncle Aaron gets shot, you've dodged all this stuff. You have all this power, and you end up getting shot, and that's that you die from a straight, like, not straight, he shot him just straight up, but.
I mean, I want to get political. Maybe that was like a shot.
Right.
Like, guns even take down superheroes.
Right.
You know what I
I
mean?
don't
Like, give PC, it's fine.
I don't know if it was or wasn't, but oh man, I definitely was thinking like, yo, how did he? Yo, now I'm actually kind of mad that he got shot. Oh, then it was just so whack because he didn't even give him that much time. Like Kingpin was like, take care of it. He gave him like 15 seconds, and he hopped out the car and shot him. I'm like, dang, you gave him no time. From a distance with a handgun.
Yeah.
Like, come on, he got a full suit on it. It goes right through the suit. Like
he didn't have like a sniper situation. He just looked at my man's on the roof and just shot from a distance and just
done.
And
one
he was
shot
aiming for him, not Miles too.
That's the thing. He's like, why don't you just kill Miles?
Yeah.
So whatever. So yeah, that was that part. I was like, what? How did he die from just like that one bullet? After all that, he got this suit. And you pop out the car. Nothing's telling you that something's off. I don't know, whatever. Casting. I think that casting Nick from New Girl as Peter B. Parker was the perfect casting choice. This is the role he was made for.
I thought you were about to like roast on it because like you didn't say like all you could see was like Nick, but I was like because he is the guy that's like I've made dumb choices, things have gotten away from me. Yeah. Charismatic, I can be witty, but like also like I really need to get myself together.
Perfect for this part.
Yeah.
Perfect for this part. He was born to play this role. He's good at playing, and actors. I have this theory that actors and actresses are only able to play roles that pull from who they are as actual people. And maybe it's not my theory. Maybe a lot of people feel that way. But I definitely feel like people can't like pull from stuff that's just like completely not them. Like some part of you has to relate to that character to a degree. And with him, I think that he definitely relates to like the loser, underachiever, witty guy. You see that in New Girl. You see that in the movie Tag. I don't know. Did you ever see that?
I couldn't get all the way through it. Oh wait, no, Tag I did. I was thinking about the other Netflix one where he's like the guy who has a betting problem. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that one's whack. I didn't finish. That's funny. I didn't finish that one either. Tag is funny, but he still plays that same type of guy, a spinoff of that same like underachiever, like whatever. So he plays that role well, and they did it great for this movie. So yeah, I mean, I had a few indie comments, but did you have anything else?
About the movie in general?
Well, I mean, just
or on him.
In the movie in general. I mean, I had a bunch of like ending stuff, but I didn't know if.
I mean, I just think that like it was really cool that they hit so many different types of like spider people, and they managed to like make it was very conscious of Spider-Man. Right. It was so true to Spider-Man. There were so many Easter eggs about Spider-Man, like the lottery ticket you mentioned. Right. That gets him into the school. I believe the ticket number is the issue number that Miles Morales shows up.
Oh, really?
There's a bunch of Easter eggs like that. Like there's actual like comic book covers with the people who actually created them mentioned on them. Like whenever they introduced a new like Gwen does her backstory. Right. I love that it was almost kind of poking fun of every Spider-Man movie has been like telling you the same thing again. Right. We get it. Uncle Ben gets shot. Right. Great power, great responsibility. They're like, so this is for the last time. This is how it all happened. Right. But I love that like Miles didn't have that. Like, and they kind of like they made fun of the Spider-Man dance scene. Right. In the movie, they literally looked at it as if like, and Miles is a fan of Spider-Man. Right. which is like, it's cool that he's aware of Spider-Man and then becomes Spider-Man
Right.
and then meets the actual Spider-Man.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that is.
There's just so many ways, and like, it was a way for people to finally see themselves in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're saying, like you could see yourself in Miles, like
Right. Yeah.
So there's like just kids like that are able to see themselves in a superhero, and like that was one of the things that Stan Lee actually said about Spider-Man that made him so universally liked.
Mm-hmm.
He's always in a mask.
Mm.
So kids don't have to see a face and be like, oh, that's what they looks like.
Right.
They could see themselves in that mask and like be like, oh, I could be a superhero.
Right.
So I love that there was like so many different like versions of it. Nick Cage is like the as the Spider-Man noir one was like
Right.
the whole time I'm like, who is this goofy voice? And then it came to me, I was like, no, yeah, I couldn't have been anybody else. The casting was so good.
Yeah, it was great. They Nick Cage is one of those guys that has been like memed into a certain place in our minds. Like
he's just like cult classic
yeah.
as a person.
You can't he doesn't get the respect he probably deserves because of social media. Like I feel like
well, because of what he's put out there that has been turned into
right
memes
into
and
memes.
stuff. Like that's
that
his library.
True. Yeah, I mean it's his fault, but
I read an interesting fact about him. His actual last name is Coppola.
What? I did not know that.
He's the nephew of the director. Was it Francis Coppola?
I don't know.
He's like a famous director. Why am I missing it? He changed his name because he didn't want to be accused of nepotism.
Oh, okay.
So he changed it to Cage, which is such a Nicolas Cage thing to do.
Right. Oh, Cage.
Ford Coppola?
I don't know. We gotta look it up now.
Yeah.
Couple critiques. Again, I like this movie a lot, but I understand now that it was a setup movie for future Miles Morales Spider-Man movies, which I'm here for. But it was taking him too long to get a hang of his powers. I'm like, I mean, some reference of his. You don't necessarily have to have it all together. Like, it's cool if like you don't know how to like on cue go invisible, but like you gotta get the swinging down. You gotta get this. You gotta be able to shoot webs. Like, come on, like the basics. Like, you gotta be able to at least like take your hand off of something, like unstick. Like, that's the very bad. You can't unstick from stuff. It just was taking them so long.
I mean, it was like a metaphor for just finding confidence and understanding in yourself, and like being like a teenager that doesn't like really know who they are, who they want to be.
Yeah.
And, like,
yeah, and
I get it. But
I got it. It was from. It just was taking. It felt like it just was taking forever, and again, I guess they had other Spider-Men to like.
Yeah.
Give it a reason for them to be there, so I guess it makes sense in having the other one as like a mentor type of guy. But yeah, so that was the only thing. I almost cried when they showed Stan Lee. Not gonna lie, when they showed Stan Lee in the movie. That was rough.
Imagine I was gonna be in the next, because he already filmed it for Avengers and for Captain Marvel.
Really?
Yeah.
So he's in the next two. Man, that's gonna be tough. The movie honestly could have been about any superhero. I think they could have done this with a fake superhero that wasn't even now using Spider-Man or using an existing superhero. I think is smart because it gives you the backstory and like again the poking the fun, and you don't have to give as much of a backstory because everyone knows the like Uncle Ben dies, and then that's so widely known that you don't have to explain that. But you didn't again, like I said, that's a good way to Spider-Man was almost just like a storytelling piece for like the story was much bigger than just again it being just Spider-Man. Like it could have been any hero. Like that wasn't the point of the movie. But yeah, it was great. It was a great tool to use. The movie definitely deserves every bit of praise that it's getting right now. Like I said, I was super skeptical. Super skeptical. I'm always super harsh on Spidey movies because he is my favorite, so I want everything to be perfect with it. And they got this one right. They got this one perfect in my mind. Everything that they did with it. I'm here for the follow-ups to it. Again, seeing how when you start switching up,
the pressure is going to be so strong on the next one.
And see, I do that all the time. I do that too. Then I'll like build something up, and then if it doesn't like reach that, then I get sad. I think it was the best original take on a superhero film I've ever seen. And when I say, let me explain that original take, I mean taking a superhero that we already know, and obviously every single time they take these heroes, all these movies, they take some creative liberties when they create the movie, right? They add some details, take some out that are different from the comic book. I think what they did with this one and how they switched it around, was the best I've ever seen. It's not, again, I gave you my rankings of superhero movies, so it's not my favorite superhero movie ever. However, I think it's the best one, the best changes that they made. Like,
yeah, I think the easy comparison there is Dark Knight, because it took, like, it was the first not campy or like not like super. It was the first movie that kind of they went dark with it.
Yeah.
And they changed what the script normally was.
Right.
For
Yeah.
that. So, and I can see, like, this really is revolutionary just from the style of animation. Like, yeah, I guess I can see it.
Yeah.
I was so worried.
The Dark Knight series is definitely on its own. The way
episode,
they,
yeah.
it's on its own thing because the way they put the movies together. Like, they don't, like you said, it was a Batman movie, but it wasn't like your normal. It's unlike any other superhero movie.
I was so worried that. Okay, so I was hype immediately when I saw the first trailer, and I said something to you like literally the next day I saw you.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm gonna be doing that episode. I made you watch the trailer, I think.
Right. Yeah.
And then I got so worried that it was one of those movies where the trailer is every funny good part.
Yeah.
In the movie, and I was thoroughly entertained and laughed at so many things and so many like little nuanced things.
Yeah.
And, like throughout the whole movie, like they knocked it out of the park, honestly.
Yep. Yeah, when I saw the trailer, I was like, I rolled my eyes because I'm seeing some of the stuff that looks cheesy, and then you have again like the pig that I couldn't get over that. I'm like, they have Spider-Man as a pig.
Parker.
Like when people were telling me like, yo, it's like this movie's amazing, blah blah blah, and then like even like Darian came up for Aquaman, it was like it said it was in his top 10, and I'm like, oh, here we go another.
That was before you saw it, right?
That was before I saw it, and
yeah.
I'm sitting here thinking this is about to be another Black Panther thing where everyone likes it but me. And I'm just gonna be frustrated, like arguing with people about why it's not good. And then I went and I'm like, nope, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm right on the bandwagon. It's amazing. I need a Spider-Man New York movie, like
with Nick Cage?
or without Nick Cage. Someone else voicing
like
it. I'll
live
voice
action,
it.
or you want it in the same style?
Same style, movie or miniseries. I will help direct and produce and fund. That's how strongly I feel about this movie. It could, you know how raw that could be. It could be rated R. Yeah, honestly, it could be real people. It didn't have to be. It didn't have to be in that style. But Spidey, actually, yeah, it's not a cartoon. It's real people. It's live action.
Okay, so you want live action?
Spider-Man solving like gruesome crimes by a supervillain, right? In like the 20s, and maybe the villain also has like mob ties, like that. That would be so dope. Think about how dope that would be in some black and white movie. Like Sony, what's up? Huh?
You just want Watchmen with Spider-Man.
Stop, man! Don't do that. Don't do that.
I mean, like, maybe that'll be something Netflix does when Disney takes away all the Marvel stuff.
Maybe come on,
because Disney's making their own Netflix, and they're gonna take everything Marvel's going strictly, and they're even doing a couple like originals. Like there's gonna be one with Bucky and Winter Soldier.
Oh, I saw that.
Hawkeye or whatever. Not Hawkeye.
I'm definitely gonna get that streaming service too because I love Disney.
Yeah.
But come on, like. Sony, let's do it. Like you already did it with like Deadpool with the rated R. Like just throw Spidey. Maybe do a Spidey. Nah, not Spidey dead. This one needs to be a serious, like no jokes. This Spider-Man does not play.
Series.
That would be dope. Like just like, and this dude does not play. Like
I need you to give me 2 actors that you think could fit your vision.
Shoot, hadn't gotten that far, Joel.
I mean, just like
off the cuff. I mean. It's gotta be someone like kind of grimy, right? Like it has to be like someone who's about it. Dang.
Are you going like a younger Spider-Man in this? Is it like?
That's what I was thinking too, because I was like, do I go with like the typical mobster type of guys? Like, do I want like Ray Liotta, but it's like Ray Liotta's old? Like,
yeah. I feel like somebody would say
I need
John
30s.
Hamm, and maybe that's because of the Mad
See,
Men.
I can see, yeah, exactly. So I'm thinking that era. So yeah, so you could go John Hamm with it. You could go. I don't know, man. That's tough. That's to play Spider-Man, and again, I have him on such a pedestal, so I don't want to give like just throw that out to any actor. You go some. You could make him black, but like in the 20s, I don't know how you step through that. Oh man, you might run into some issues. Maybe he just keeps the mask on at all times. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, what would you rank this movie out of 10?
As a movie, as a superhero movie, as a Spider-Man movie, like as entertainment value, what's our basis?
I need you to just rank the movie.
See, I can't do that. I gotta have like parameters.
All right. Well,
Strong.
All right. Yep. That is not a number, but my official
9.3.
in Todd We Trust.
9.3.
Thank you. Official in Todd We Trust score for this movie is 8.9 out of 10. 8.9.
How many have gotten over 9?
This is the first time I'm doing this. This is gonna be a new thing.
Okay, well, so this is unprecedented.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it means nothing right now until you compare it. So, upcoming movies.
What favorite Spider-Man movie of all time?
Let me go back to that top 10 list. I don't think it is. I think this. I think
No,
I-
not
I-
favorite superhero movie, like, but just favorite Spider-Man movie.
I think I got Doc Ock still above this one, but it's.
Oh, really? Oh, I probably can't do that.
But I mean, it's art. It's.
But we also differ because like
I gotta
Tobey Maguire is gone for me, and like I'm all for Tom Holland
new
as
wave?
Spider-Man. Yeah.
Oh, see, no, I'm not on that. I don't like the new. I haven't liked the Spider-Man. Besides this one, I haven't liked one since Doc Ock. Doc Ock is the last Spider-Man I liked. Didn't like the third one.
Did you
Andrew
like
Garfield can just get out of here.
Yeah.
He can scram. And then
Did you like the female Doc Ock?
I did like that.
Yeah. Me too.
I did like that. I like that. I did not, but yeah, Homecoming I didn't like. This new one looks all right. Like I'm gonna see.
I'm so nervous that this one is gonna be Spider-Man 3. They're
Yeah.
flooding with villains.
It could be, man. It definitely could be, but I'm still go see it, and I'm hopeful. I'm definitely hopeful. Zendaya has me hopeful.
And Jake Gyllenhaal is Mysterio.
And Jake always makes me nervous because Jake is
That
just
he always pulls it off. He gets so into his role.
most of the time. Yeah, he's a creeper. He's
Yeah.
another dude who I'm sure is a sociopath in real life because all his roles are he's a sociopath.
Like acting keeps him from being a sociopath.
Right.
He has
All
all
his
the
movies are
tools.
weird. All his movies make me.
He has all the tools, but this is his like.
He knows too much,
saving
man.
grace. Yeah.
No, all his roles make me feel weird after I watch the movie. Like always, just uncomfortable after the movie. But yeah, that's all I had. Upcoming movies.
Captain Marvel. I can't wait for Captain Marvel. The next Avengers, obviously.
You look like an addict. You're shaking.
It's
Captain
the end of 10 years worth of like
Yeah.
build up, like, and it's the last one before the final chapter.
Is this the final Avengers that we're getting?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It's the
I'm
end
like,
of
we
most
got
of the contracts. Like,
all right, yeah. I'm ready to see
people
how
are
this thing
upset
ends.
about this trailer too, the Spider-Man trailer, because they're just glossing over the fact that suddenly like Spider-Man's fine and it's clearly after
yeah.
Avengers, and it's like, did you guys just?
Is it
spoil
after or
alert?
before?
No, it's after.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that? And what makes you sure?
I'm like 87% sure.
I feel like that's kind of cheating because now we know that for sure he lives. Like, I mean, now we don't know who
Who?
lives and dies, but like we knew he was gonna live. But like, I feel like if you do it after, then it's like, oh, everything's fine then.
But I mean, so you're gonna give us a Black Panther movie about like the time between Black Panther and Avengers?
Wait, what?
Because Black Panther also died in the last Avengers movie, and there's a Black Panther 2 coming out. So like,
When does Black Panther 2 come out though?
way after the next Avengers.
Exactly. So we'll already know what happens, and then it's like, okay, cool.
Right,
that
but
one can come.
I'm also currently assuming like he's coming back. Like
We don't know. We don't know, Joel.
But like the period of time between like Avengers or Black Panther and Avengers was such a small window.
Right.
Like literally in the Avengers movie, she references like, well, when we said we were gonna open up Wakanda, I thought we were gonna get like a Starbucks or something, not
Yeah.
like bring the war of the universe to us.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I think that this Spidey movie took place before. Obviously, this is something that we can just easily Google because I'm sure a lot of people have talked about it.
We'll debate the next time we have you.
Sure. No, I mean it's a right or wrong. We can definitely look it up. I can Google it right now, but I won't. Movies I'm looking forward to: Serenity with Matthew McConaughey and Anne Hathaway. Have you seen that?
I'm not at all aware of this.
Okay.
I just saw a trailer for him in another movie where he's like a druggy bum poet.
No, it's not this one. But that does not sound captivating. But I might watch it. I like Matthew McConaughey. He's like he's like the definition of cool. He's like one of those guys for me who's like super cool to me.
I would have agreed with you before he started making these Lincoln commercials.
The
Where
Lincoln
he's just
commercials
like,
crack me up.
I'm so cool.
Yeah.
Lincoln.
Yeah.
Drives away. Okay, that felt weird.
He's had some quotes in these Lincoln commercials. Like it's one.
They're like, what is it?
I can't
ASMR?
remember.
Is that what the voice, the sound things that people are getting into? Where it's like that video for a car ad.
Yo, he had one. Oh, what is the line? I used to know it, but he had a line in one where I was like, what? He did not just say that, and it just cuts off. And I'm like, wait, that can't be
He's
no
like,
commercial.
Drive It's like, what is he doing? I don't get it.
He's
Not
like-
cool. He's not cool anymore.
It's like he's still cool to me. He's still super cool to me. But anyway, the description for it: the mysterious past of a fishing boat captain, Matthew McConaughey,
Obviously.
comes back to haunt him when his ex-wife, Anne Hathaway, tracks him down with a desperate plea for help, ensnaring his life in a new reality that may not be all that it seems. Thriller. So, get hype. All right.
Who's directing?
I don't know. I didn't get all that.
That's important. It's fine.
Yeah. No. So it doesn't matter. They're in it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay.
All right, that's all I have for this week. Thank you all for listening. Oh, I didn't mention this before, but if you're listening already, you already know. But Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and then watch on YouTube. Please subscribe as well to all of those.
Stickers.
Oh yeah, I got stickers. Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, you already see the sticker on my laptop. I have I think I ordered 200 of them. So I have 200 stickers. If you want one, just ask me. They don't cost anything.
Oh,
Just,
slide into the DMs. He'll give you
yeah,
a sticker.
yeah. Slide into the DMs. I'll give you a sticker. Yeah, we talked about.
The gates are open now.
Yeah, right.
Shots are gonna come flying.
Right, exactly. No, yeah, we talked about proper DM etiquette earlier, so keep that in mind. But yeah, appreciate everyone listening. Joel, thanks for coming up. You done good, kid. You done good.